Hey all, Birds on the Bat here. This video is going to be kind of just like a mishmash of things. It's just kind of a few things that I've wanted to post about in the past few weeks. So first off, I'm going to show you a huge pickup that I've got, and this is the biggest individual card I've ever picked up, and I'm really excited to have it. It's the PSA 10 2004 Topps Yadier Molina rookie. And he's my favorite player, bar none. A future Hall of Famer, 9-time All-Star, 9-time Gold Glover, 2-time champion. I mean, one of the greatest catchers who's ever lived. And this is his true rookie, 2004. It's interesting he's wearing 24 in the photo because he never wore 24 in the bigs. He only wore 41, and then before transitioning to his present number of 4. But what's so great about this card is that it's a Pop 168. Which, for those of you who are in the hobby, and you know that's just minuscule compared to, some of these modern cards like the Tatis rookie, which has a pop in the mid 11,000s. This card, we're never going to have an issue where there's too much supply relative to demand. There's always going to be less supply than demand for a card like this because, it's 17 years old. This set is notorious for centering issues. You're probably not going to get that many more 10s. It will trickle up as time goes along, but not by very much. The thing about this card is actually, funny story, this is the third one of these I've owned in a few months. The third. And the reason being is that the first two that I bought, I really just was not happy with. The very first one I bought, I lost an auction, and I kind of had one of those impulse buys where you just kind of say, oh, screw it, I lost the auction, I'm going to go for one of those buy it nows. So I clicked buy it now. The listing had some pretty bad photos, but it was listed as a 10, and I figure, that's why we entrust the grading companies. I know that you're always told buy the card, not the grade, but nonetheless, we trust the grading companies to assign, a third party kind of consideration of quality. So I figure even if the photos are pretty bad, blurred, this card should still fall in a certain kind of range of quality. Well, I got that card in the mail, and oh boy, it had, up here in the foil of the letters, it was all chipped and missing. The card, when I tell you this card was off-centered, it wasn't 55-45, it wasn't 60-40, it probably wasn't even 70-30. I mean, this thing may have been 75-25 or 80-20. It looked awful. It was absolutely baffling to me how this thing got a PSA 10. So, the moment I got it, I was just completely unhappy with it. Of course, I'd never return it, right? Because I bought a PSA 10, I got a PSA 10. Seller held up their part of the deal perfectly. So I just listed it, sold it off, and then I used the money to win another auction. Well, this one came, and the second card looked great. Except when I looked at it a little closer, the top edge was almost slanted a tiny bit. And that made me a little nervous, right? It really looked kind of like it was altered, honestly. And when I tilted it in the light, I could see that up here by the C, there was in essence almost like a fingernail indent into the card's surface. A kind of error that there's no way the card deserved a 10. I understand it was graded a PSA 10, but it's the kind of thing where if I sent it back to PSA raw, I bet it would get a 6, maybe even a 7 because of the indent. It was that obvious. It was clearly just something PSA missed. So again, I noted the error in the listing. I listed it again. It was scooped up by someone. And then I finally moved on to my third one, being this one. And even this one's not perfect. It has a little kind of black dot thing on the surface right there. It has like a little white line somewhere here, right there. Tiny little white line on the surface. But I think this one actually deserves a 10, nonetheless. I mean, I could see it getting a 9, but it is a beautiful copy. The centering's on point. It does not have any indents or slanted edges. The corners are sharp. The card looks beautiful. There's no chipping in the Cardinals foil. So finally, after, 3 attempts, I have got my Molina 10. And what that says to me, honestly, is that even with a pop of 168, maybe there shouldn't be 168 10s. I mean, who knows how many of them really don't deserve the 10. It might be, who knows, 140 that really deserve a 10? 130? I have no idea. But nonetheless, I'm so happy to get this card and put it in my collection. The value of these has really shot up to about 500, and I think it's only going to keep going up, given how low the pop is. So moving on. These I'm going to be sending off on bulk modern to JT in my submission group. I don't have a modern sub currently going, so I don't really have enough cards to be creating one. So I've only got a few, and I'm just going to send them off to the submission group. These 3 cards are just Kobe's. 2 more of these sticker cards that I have. A lot of the cards, the sticker cards really just don't have the quality that they're worth getting graded, but these 2 looked good enough, so I'm going to be sending them off. 1997 Collector's Choice European stickers. These 2 will make 35 and 36 that I'll have sent off to PSA. And then this card. I picked this up for like 20 bucks at auction. It was kind of like an impulse buy during the Kobe run-up. It's 2009 Panini Timeless Treasures Kobe Bryant. Kind of a random issue Panini released in their first year with the NBA licenseship. But it's a really low printed set, and actually even the base cards in the set are numbered. So you'll notice here this is numbered to 399, and that's really the reason I bought it, because it's a numbered Kobe card, and it's a low numbered Kobe card. It doesn't really matter what it is. If it's low printed of somebody of Kobe's ilk, Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, these guys, it's worth something. And in a 10 these sell for about 175, and a 9 for about 85. So I think with my $20 investment and a $23 grading fees, I think what I'll pay, 43 bucks in, it's hard for me to imagine I won't do well on it, because it looks like it's probably going to get a 9. Okay. Now, third, I'm going to be going over some Pokemon cards. So with the PSA price run up, I had a group of Pokemon cards that I was planning on sending off to PSA. Pokemon cards are really not an optimized market. Not nearly as much as sports. There's a ton of room for profit there. I mean, you can get Charizard cards, for $8, $10 that are perfectly clean. They have no issues with them. And in a 9, they sell for 80, and a 10 for 150. And it's just absolutely baffling to me how little, how the price discrepancy in the Pokemon market between raw and graded. In sports, you certainly don't have oftentimes as much a margin. So I've been buying Pokemon. I really do enjoy Pokemon, and I'll be keeping some of them. I've had another Pokemon video on this channel, but I've been buying Pokemon to kind of fund the sports cards. And when the price run-up happened from $10 to $20, it made a bunch of these cards that I had not really worth submitting anymore. And it's not that in a 10 they wouldn't be worth submitting, it's that there's just not as clean or clear a margin in a 9. So for instance, here I've got a Meowth VMAX. It's a Black Star promo. You can see right up here, though, this corner has some chipping and whitening. And because of that, I think it would get a 9. And there's really not much data on these yet, right? Like, we don't have very much because they're still relatively new. So I don't know what these really sell for in a 9 or a 10, and I don't really want to take the chance if I'm not absolutely, confident it'll get a 10. So same issues here. Gyarados, GX, just off-centered, pushed down towards this corner. Otherwise very clean. Darmanitan VMAX, just too off-centered left to right. And with Pokemon, interestingly enough, centering is often kind of ignored by the graders, but I felt this was just too obvious. You could see how much bigger it is on the right than on the left. Same deal with this Aegis-Slash VMAX. Again, I would have sent these in all day at $10, but at $20, just not really worth it. Same deal with this Butterfree, too big on the right. This Alcremie is better, still a little bit favoring the right, but better. It might have a tiny touch of potential wear on this corner, so it just worries me a bit. Again, like Alcremie, not a really popular Pokemon, so it's not really worth risking. Togekiss VMAX, again, centering's actually not too bad on this one. This one has a little bit of whitening up here. You can see it there, a couple white dots. Just not worth getting graded like that. Could get a 10, but who knows. Kingdra GX Full Art, again, same deal, just off-centered, pushed into this top left corner. You can see how small the border is on the left relative to the right and the bottom. And then Eternatus VMAX, actually pretty well centered, but up here has a little bit of white ticking there that just worries me. So these are all cards that I weeded out that I don't really think are worth submitting at the current price point, but I don't really know what to do with them because I still think that they're a lot of these are probably potential 10s, and even the ones that aren't, they're 9 quality cards. And I need to watch the price points for these and see how they're doing before I decide to ever submit them off. Maybe another grading option, maybe like CGC I go to. We'll see. For now, though, I'm going to hold on to these because, that's kind of a question I saw in Blowout on a thread recently. What are you doing with your cards now that are kind of priced out of being submitted to PSA? And for me, the answer is I'm just kind of holding them because it's hard to find cards that are worthy of getting graded, at least condition wise. So when you do find them, even now that we have this price hike, I'm just holding on to them because I figure if I have them and I've determined that they are the right quality to get graded, I'm just going to continue holding them until I find an option to do so. Now, finally, I've got the Pokemon cards that I will be submitting to PSA. So these cards were weeded out from a lot more cards too. A lot of cards that had surface dents and this and that. But these were some of the clean ones. So first here, it's only 18 cards, smaller submission, but I've got to get them out. This is a Black Star promo from 2014 XY era. Just a Blastoise EX. Really pretty card and actually shockingly clean. No whitening whatsoever. I think it has a great shot at 10. Then I've got here 2 of these Mega Blastoise EX cards from XY Evolutions from 2016. Just solid condition, just a nice card, Kanto starter. Then I've got a Glaceon GX, a little bit off-center top to bottom, but really well-centered left to right. I think that it's still in 10 centering. Evolutions are super popular. I think this is a Black Star promo, actually. Yes, it is. Issue here, though, is that it has a little white dot on the bottom, so I know it's going to get a 9. But I checked the prices, and in a 9, this card goes for like $60. So even at $20 grading fee, I mean, I can't pass that up. Then, this is one of a few cards that I feel are really, just the quality is it. I can't find anything wrong with it, so I'm going to take the chance. This is a Persian GX full art. I know Pokerand Randolph talks about how his wife, Laura, loves Persian. It's her favorite Pokemon. So I figure, heck, maybe he'll buy it off me. But, I mean, absolutely perfectly centered. I can't find any issues with it, so I'm going to take the chance. Same deal with this Raichu GX from Hidden Fates. Just, a little off-center top to bottom, but really, really, good-looking card. Can't find any issues with it. Then Charizards. Charizards are the way to go. Hidden Fates Tin Charizard looks pretty good, a little off-center top to bottom, but these things go for like $80 or something like that in a 9, $75 and like $115 in a 10, so no brainer sending these off. Then Hidden Fates Charizard GX. I've got 4. One of these I remember is absolutely immaculate, and with the centering, I think it's this last one. Yeah, with the centering and everything, I mean, this is almost Black Label quality. But yeah, so 4 of those. Again, Hidden Fates, Giovanni's Exile full art. Off-center left to right, it's going to get a 9. Clearly bigger border on the left than on the right, but even in a 9, it's worth like $40, which isn't that much. But for what I have into it, it's like $2 or something, $2.50, and with a $20 grading fee, I mean, I just can't see how I'm going to lose money on it because it has no other issue. So I'm going to send that off. Then I bought a few of these mini shinies from Hidden Fates. 2 of them actually has a surface issue, but this Sudowoodo looks pretty good. It has a little bit of like corner whitening right there. I think it's going to probably pull a 9 with an outside shot at a 10. But otherwise, really clean card. It looks actually really nice in the light right here. But this is worth something like, I don't know, $40, $50 in a 9, probably $80, $90 in a 10. So definitely worth getting graded. Then 3 Charizard and Braixen GXs. A Gardevoir Gardevoir VMAX, full art, apologies. This is the only one from that pile of VMAXs that I decided to send off because I can't find a single problem with it. I mean, absolutely no whitening on any corner, perfect centering. It just looks 10 all the way around, and I'm going to trust my grading eye. Actually, kind of interestingly, it has an image tilt on the back, but it's actually still correctly centered. So, I mean, I'm just going to still try my hand at it. And then the last card from the first 2021 card I've owned, actually. Grimmsnarl VMAX from Shining Fates. And this card, not perfectly centered. It's a little bit bigger on the right, but still quite well centered. I just think it looks great. Pretty popular card actually, and you know, it looks like a 10 all the way around. So I'm gonna send that in as well. So that's it. That's all I've got for you. Kind of a random assortment of things, but kind of thought I would update you on what I'm doing these days. I'm actually going to release a video in probably a couple weeks of the soccer card pickups I've been doing, going into why I'm putting a lot of my money into soccer, why I'm picking up a ton of soccer. I'm really bullish on the soccer market. Um, so look out for that one because, you know, if you're looking for some kind of opportunity to maybe, you know, make a few bucks, I think that there's a pretty darn good opportunity there. So thank you for coming along and watching the video, and hope to see you back again soon. Bye.